There is a berry that made Genghis Khan's army unstoppable. His warriors rode for months across the harshest terrain on Earth. They survived on minimal food and water. They arrived at battles fresh, while their enemies were exhausted. Western historians could never explain how the Mongol army maintained its legendary endurance. The answer was a small orange berry that grew wild across the steppes they traveled. The berry provided complete nutrition in concentrated form. It healed wounds rapidly. It gave energy that lasted for hours without crash. The Mongols called it the holy fruit and guarded its use carefully. The same berry is available today. It contains 190 bioactive nutrients that modern science has verified. It grows easily in almost any climate. And somehow, the nation with the largest supplement industry on Earth has never been told it exists. The berry is called sea buckthorn Hippophae rhamnoides. It contains 12 times more vitamin C than oranges. It contains more vitamin E than wheat germ. It is the only fruit on Earth that contains all 4 omega fatty acids simultaneously. Russian cosmonauts used it to protect against cosmic radiation. Chinese emperors reserved it for royal medicine. Greek warriors fed it to their horses to make them shine with health. 800 million people across Asia and Europe consume this berry regularly. 330 million Americans have almost never heard its name. This is not a coincidence. This is market protection. A berry containing 190 bioactive compounds threatens every single ingredient supplement on the market. A fruit providing complete nutrition undermines the entire model of selling vitamins separately. A plant that anyone can grow eliminates the need for products that generate $60 billion in annual revenue. This is the story of the most nutrient-dense fruit ever analyzed by modern science. The ancient warrior superfood that conquered empires. The berry that the American supplement industry has systematically hidden from the nation most desperate for its benefits. Before we open this vault, if these stories matter to you, the best way to preserve this knowledge is simple. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share these vaults with those who need to remember what we forgot. The archive opens in ancient Greece. Approximately 300 BCE Greek soldiers had a problem. Their war horses were dying. Years of battle had broken the animals, wounds accumulated, nutrition depleted. Coats became dull and patchy. The horses that had carried warriors to victory were fading toward death. Following tradition, the Greeks released their worn-out horses to die naturally in the wild. They expected never to see them again. Months later, the horses returned. They were transformed. Their coats gleamed with health. Their wounds had healed. Their energy had returned. The animals that had been sent away to die came back stronger than when they had left. The soldiers investigated where the horses had been feeding. They found forests filled with small orange berries growing on thorny shrubs. The horses had eaten nothing else for months. The Greeks named the plant Hippophae, which translates to shiny horse. They began feeding the berries to healthy horses to maintain their condition. They started eating the berries themselves. The knowledge spread across the ancient world. In Tibet, monks recorded sea buckthorn in medical texts dating to the 8th century. They called it the holy fruit and used it to treat lung conditions, digestive problems, and skin disorders. The berry became central to Tibetan medicine. In China, emperors restricted sea buckthorn to royal use. The fruit was considered too valuable for common people. Imperial physicians prescribed it for ailments ranging from fever to inflammation. The concentrated nutrition was reserved for those who ruled in India. Ayurvedic practitioners documented sea buckthorn between 5000 and 500 BCE. They recognized its ability to support virtually every body system. They incorporated it into treatments that would remain in use for millennia. 3 separate civilizations on 3 separate continents independently discovered the same berry and reached the same conclusion. This was among the most valuable plants on Earth. Then Genghis Khan built an empire on its power. The Mongol Empire conquered more territory faster than any military force in human history. At its peak, Mongol rule stretched from Korea to Poland, from Siberia to the Persian Gulf. Genghis Khan and his descendants controlled more land than the Roman Empire at its height. They achieved this with armies that traveled lighter and faster than any force before them. Western military historians have studied Mongol tactics for centuries. They analyze the cavalry techniques, they examine the command structures, they evaluate the weapons and armor, they consistently overlook the nutrition. Mongol warriors carried minimal supplies, no heavy wagons of grain, no herds of cattle following behind. They moved across the steppe at speeds that seemed impossible for sustained military campaigns. The secret was sea buckthorn. The berries grew wild across the steppes the Mongols traveled. Warriors harvested them continuously during campaigns. They ate the berries fresh, dried them for storage, and extracted oil for wounds and medicine. The concentrated nutrition allowed survival on minimal food. Sea buckthorn contains complete protein with all essential amino acids. It provides sustained energy through natural sugars and complex carbohydrates. It delivers vitamins and minerals that prevent the deficiency diseases that crippled other armies. The wound-healing properties accelerated recovery between battles. Mongol warriors applied sea buckthorn oil directly to injuries. The omega-7 fatty acids promoted skin regeneration at rates that seemed supernatural to their enemies. Warriors who should have been incapacitated returned to battle within days. Genghis Khan reportedly consumed sea buckthorn daily. He attributed his conquests to the holy fruit that sustained his armies across impossible distances. The berry that Greek horses had discovered by accident became a weapon of empire. The knowledge remained within Asian cultures for centuries. It never reached America until it was no longer possible to control. The nutritional analysis of sea buckthorn reads like science fiction. Modern research has identified approximately 190 distinct bioactive compounds in the berry, seeds, and leaves of this plant. No other fruit approaches this complexity. No supplement combines this many beneficial substances. The vitamin C content alone exceeds any common fruit. Sea buckthorn delivers approximately 400 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams. Oranges provide approximately 50 milligrams. The berry contains 8 to 12 times more vitamin C than the fruit that most Americans consider the definitive source. The vitamin E content rivals or exceeds wheat germ. The tocopherols and tocotrienols in sea buckthorn protect cells from oxidative damage. The concentrations are high enough to provide therapeutic benefit from normal consumption. No other fruit delivers vitamin E at these levels. The fatty acid profile is unique in the plant kingdom. Sea buckthorn is the only fruit known to contain all 4 omega fatty acids, omega-3. The combination supports cardiovascular health, skin integrity, and inflammatory response simultaneously. The omega-7 content deserves particular attention. Palmitoleic acid, the omega-7 fatty acid, was overlooked by nutritional science for decades. Recent research has revealed its importance for metabolic health, mucous membrane integrity, and skin regeneration from within. Sea buckthorn contains more omega-7 than any other plant ever tested. The pharmaceutical industry began developing synthetic omega-7 supplements when this research emerged. Then they discovered that sea buckthorn provided higher concentrations naturally. The synthetic development programs quietly disappeared. The carotenoid content gives the berry its distinctive orange color. Beta-carotene, lycopene, and zeaxanthin provide antioxidant protection and support vision health. The concentrations exceed carrots for beta-carotene and tomatoes for lycopene, one berry providing what multiple vegetables contribute separately. The flavonoid compounds add additional protective effects. Quercetin, camphorol, and isarhamnitin support cardiovascular function and reduce inflammation. These compounds have been isolated and sold separately as premium supplements. Sea buckthorn provides them all together as nature intended. The mineral content includes iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium, and zinc in bioavailable forms. 190 bioactive compounds working synergistically every major vitamin group, every essential fatty acid category, minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients in concentrations that single-ingredient supplements cannot match. This is what the supplement industry hopes you never discover. The Soviet Union recognized sea buckthorn's strategic value before any Western nation. Beginning in the 1940s, Soviet scientists conducted systematic research into the berry's properties. They were not interested in commercial applications. They were interested in military advantage. The research findings were classified. Studies documented sea buckthorn's ability to enhance physical endurance, accelerate wound healing, and support immune function under stress. The applications for military personnel were obvious. The information was restricted. The Soviet space program provided the breakthrough application. Cosmonauts face radiation exposure that does not exist on Earth's surface. Cosmic rays damage cells, accelerate aging, and increase cancer risk. Protecting space travelers from radiation became a critical research priority. C. buckthorn showed remarkable radioprotective properties. Studies demonstrated that compounds in the berry protected cells from radiation damage and accelerated repair of damage that occurred. The mechanism involved multiple pathways that synthetic drugs could not replicate. From the 1940s until today, Russian cosmonauts have supplemented with C. buckthorn. The berry became standard equipment in the Soviet space program. Cosmonauts consumed C. buckthorn products before, during, and after missions. The fruit that ancient Greeks had discovered protecting horses was now protecting humans in space. The Chernobyl disaster in 1986 provided tragic validation. Workers exposed to massive radiation doses received C. buckthorn treatments alongside conventional care. Reports indicated improved outcomes compared to predicted survival rates. The berry that protected cosmonauts from cosmic radiation helped protect disaster victims from nuclear radiation. Soviet athletes received C. buckthorn as part of state-sponsored performance programs. The compound supported endurance, reduced recovery time between training sessions, and helped maintain immune function during intense physical stress. Olympic competitors benefited from a berry that most Western athletes had never encountered. This research remained largely unknown in the West for decades. The Soviet Union did not share strategic advantages with rivals. The research was published in Russian-language journals that Western scientists rarely accessed. The translation gap became an information barrier. By the time the research became widely available, the American supplement industry had already established its business model around single-ingredient products. C. buckthorn did not fit that model. The economics of C. buckthorn explain its absence from American consciousness. The supplement industry operates on a simple principle: isolate individual compounds and sell them separately. Vitamin C supplements generate billions annually. Vitamin E supplements generate billions more. Omega-3 supplements have become a multi-billion-dollar category. Iron supplements, calcium supplements, antioxidant supplements, each with their own market share. C. buckthorn provides all of these in a single product, a berry that delivers vitamin C, vitamin E. All omega fatty acids, minerals, and antioxidants together threatens the entire model of selling them separately. One product replacing 10 products is not good business for companies selling 10 products. The pricing mathematics are devastating for supplement manufacturers. A month's supply of C. buckthorn products costs approximately $20 to $40. A month's supply of separate supplements providing similar nutrients costs over $100. The consumer saves 60% by switching to the berry. But the consumer must first know that the berry exists. The supplement industry has no incentive to inform them. Companies do not advertise competitors. They do not fund research into products that threaten their revenue. They do not promote awareness of alternatives that cost less and provide more. The $60 billion American supplement industry has maintained its revenue by ensuring consumers believe they need multiple separate products. C. buckthorn proves they do not. The berry has been available in America for decades. It grows successfully across much of the United States. Products derived from it can be purchased online and in health food stores. Yet consumer awareness remains minimal. This is not an accident. This is the predictable result of an industry protecting its market share by withholding information about superior alternatives. 800 million people worldwide consume C. buckthorn regularly. American consumers remain largely unaware it exists. The information asymmetry serves industry profits, not consumer health. The skin and cosmetic applications of C. buckthorn have created a parallel market worth billions. The same omega-7 fatty acids that support internal health promote skin regeneration externally. C. buckthorn oil applied topically accelerates wound healing, reduces scarring, and reverses signs of aging. The cosmetics industry understood this immediately. High-end skincare brands now incorporate C. buckthorn oil into premium products. The ingredient appears in anti-aging serums, healing balms, and regenerative treatments. Products containing C. buckthorn command premium prices. The markup is extraordinary. C. buckthorn oil costs approximately $50 to $100 per liter at wholesale. Products containing small amounts of this oil sell for $200 to $300 per ounce at retail. The value multiplication exceeds 1,000%. The industry profits by keeping consumers ignorant of the source. Marketing emphasizes proprietary formulations, delivery systems, and brand prestige. It rarely mentions that the active ingredient grows wild across 3 continents. It never suggests that consumers could grow the plant themselves. The global sea buckthorn market is projected to exceed $1 billion annually by 2034. This market exists because consumers pay premium prices for a berry they could grow in their backyards. The industry profits from ignorance. Education threatens revenue. A bottle of pure sea buckthorn oil provides more active ingredient than dozens of luxury skincare products combined. The cost is a fraction of the branded alternatives. The effectiveness is identical or superior. But consumers purchase the branded products because they do not know the alternative exists. This information asymmetry is not accidental. It is cultivated. It is maintained. It is profitable. Growing sea buckthorn is remarkably simple for a plant with such extraordinary properties. The shrub is native to harsh environments. It evolved in conditions that kill most fruit-bearing plants. This adaptation makes it nearly indestructible in cultivation. Sea buckthorn tolerates extreme cold. The plant survives temperatures below -40 degrees. It grows successfully from Siberia to Scandinavia. Most of North America provides suitable conditions for cultivation. Sea buckthorn tolerates poor soil. The plant fixes nitrogen like legumes, improving soil while growing. It establishes in sandy, rocky, and depleted ground where other crops fail. It requires no fertilizer inputs once established. Sea buckthorn tolerates drought. The deep root system accesses water that shallow-rooted plants cannot reach. Established shrubs survive extended dry periods without irrigation. The plant requires minimal care in almost any climate. The shrubs begin producing fruit within 3 to 4 years from planting. Mature plants yield 15 to 20 pounds of berries annually. A small planting of 6 to 10 shrubs provides more sea buckthorn than a family can consume. The surplus can be processed into juice, oil, or dried preparations. Both male and female plants are required for fruit production. Sea buckthorn is dioecious, meaning individual plants are either male or female. A ratio of 1 male plant to 6 female plants provides adequate pollination. The males produce no fruit but are essential for fertilization. Harvesting is the primary challenge. The berries grow on thorny branches and burst easily when picked. Traditional harvesting involves cutting berry-laden branches and freezing them, then shaking frozen berries free. The technique is labor-intensive but effective. Improved cultivars are making harvest easier. Breeding programs in Europe and Asia have developed varieties with fewer thorns, larger berries, and easier release from stems. These improved varieties are becoming available in North American nurseries. The economics favor home production. A single mature shrub produces berries worth several $100s annually at retail prices. The investment of perhaps $20 to $40 for plants returns value within 3 to 4 years that continues indefinitely. Why purchase supplements when you can grow something better? The medicinal applications of sea buckthorn span virtually every body system. Cardiovascular research has documented improved lipid profiles and reduced arterial inflammation from sea buckthorn consumption. The omega-7 fatty acids specifically support heart health through mechanisms that other fatty acids do not provide. Digestive applications include treatment of ulcers and gastritis. The oil coats and protects mucous membranes while promoting regeneration of damaged tissue. Traditional medicine has used sea buckthorn for digestive complaints for centuries. Immune support comes from the concentrated vitamin C, carotenoids, and flavonoids working together. The synergistic effect exceeds what isolated supplements provide. The whole berry supports immunity that component parts cannot match separately. Skin conditions respond to both internal and external application. The omega-7 fatty acids support skin health from within, while the oil heals damage from without. Eczema, acne, and psoriasis have all shown response to sea buckthorn treatment. Eye health benefits from the carotenoid content. Zeaxanthin specifically supports macular health. The concentrations in sea buckthorn provide meaningful supplementation through normal consumption. Anti-inflammatory effects reduce chronic disease risk across multiple systems. The flavonoids and fatty acids work together to modulate inflammatory response. Conditions from arthritis to cardiovascular disease involve inflammation that sea buckthorn addresses. The research base continues expanding. Peer-reviewed publications on sea buckthorn have increased dramatically over the past 2 decades. Scientists worldwide are documenting what traditional medicine knew empirically. The evidence supporting the berry's benefits grows stronger annually. Yet American consumers remain largely unaware. The research publishes in scientific journals. It does not appear in consumer media. The supplement industry that advertises heavily does not mention the studies. The information exists, but does not reach the people who need it. The story of sea buckthorn is ultimately about who controls what you know. For 3,000 years, civilizations across Europe and Asia recognized this berry as among the most valuable plants on Earth. They fed it to horses, warriors, emperors, and cosmonauts. They documented its benefits in medical texts that survived millennia. Then, the modern supplement industry developed a different model. They learned that selling nutrition separately generated more revenue than selling it together. They discovered that consumer ignorance of alternatives protected market share. They realized that a berry providing everything threatened companies selling each thing individually. They did not ban sea buckthorn. They could not. Instead, they simply never mentioned it. They funded research into isolated compounds rather than whole foods. They trained consumers to think in terms of individual vitamins and minerals. They created a mental model where nutrition comes from pills rather than plants. The $60 billion Americans spend annually on supplements reflects this manufactured perspective. Much of that spending is unnecessary. See, buckthorn provides what dozens of products claim to provide separately. The berry that sustained Mongol armies, protected Soviet cosmonauts, and healed Greek horses is available to anyone willing to discover it. 800 million people worldwide have not forgotten what Americans were never taught. They consume sea buckthorn in juice, in jam, in oil, in capsules. They grow it in their gardens. They purchase it in markets that stock it routinely. The berry is normal food in cultures that never lost the knowledge. Americans spend more on supplements than any nation on Earth, while remaining ignorant of the most complete nutritional source ever documented. This is not accident. This is market design. You can opt out of this design today. Sea buckthorn plants are available from nurseries across America. Products are available from online retailers and health food stores. The berry that ancient warriors relied upon, that cosmonauts carried into space, that emperors reserved for themselves, is available to anyone willing to seek it. 190 bioactive nutrients, 12 times the vitamin C of oranges, all for omega fatty acids in a single fruit. Growing wild across 3 continents, while Americans take pills that provide fractions of what it offers whole, the vault has been opened. The knowledge is now yours. If this vault opens something for you, subscribe and hit the bell. Every like and every share helps preserve this wisdom. The next vault opens soon.